Hey, how we doing? It's Wednesday. Yeah, it is Wednesday. Hope your week's been going well. Mine not so good. Definitely not the way I thought my week was going to go. I had plans this week. I know I was hoping to get a haircut since I'm way overdue. Want to continue to push through my training programs, get the intensity bunched up. Got some reading I was going to do. And instead, I let myself get a little under the weather, so I've been spending the past several days recovering. And not been fun. Not been fun when you want to get some things done and yet you can't focus, you're tired, you don't feel like it. And I'm also discovering how much joy it is still after the cancer, only having basically one big sinus up here. There's nowhere for the stuff to go, so if I got to blow my nose immediately, and plus I have some little blood issues. But yeah, it's been a fun week. But anyways, like I said, I hope your week's going better. So how's your company when you're alone? So this is Dave, and we talk about balancing the triad of body, mind, and spirit to improve your health, wellness, and fitness. And spirit is probably the one I talk the least about, although it's probably one of the most crucial components, because it's easier, definitely easier for people to work on physical, because hey, you know to exercise, you know to eat right, and sleep, at least you know what they are. With mind, we can work on the creativity, be aware of what you put onto it, work on analytical stuff, we got that. But spirituality, and the way I break spirituality down, which was one of the missing pieces for me, at least the description of it, I got that from the Transformation Institute of Nutrition, the Institute of Transformational Nutrition, which was personal spirituality, communal spirituality, and environmental spirituality. What brought this up is Mark Bell. I've heard me talk about him before. I even shared some of his videos up. Had an interesting take. I saw it was just a quote he had on Instagram, but I actually read it this morning. I seen he had more up this morning, so I'm going to read this from my computer screen over here. There are two words. Man. Yeah, great being on the weather. There are two words that describe being alone. They are solitude, which refers to feeling peaceful and quiet within ourselves, and loneliness, which suggests feelings of discomfort, boredom, or sadness. And he mentions about learning to be idle. Just be stationary. Learn to be alone, as this is the way you came into this world, this is the way you leave it. And believe it or not, you get through it on your own. No one can do it for you. Now, granted, we don't do everything on ourselves. We have those that help us. Absolutely. The device you're watching, someone else made it for you. The clothes you're wearing, most likely someone else made it for you. The job you're doing, someone else did. But yeah, we can't do it by ourselves. But a lot of times, what it is no one can do the things for us. Just like with working on your health, wellness, and fitness. You get the information, you get the food, you get the training from someone else, but they can't do it for you. You have to do it yourself. Learn to be with your own thoughts. Think about your thoughts. Learn yourself. Explore your mind as it knows who you are better than anyone or anything in the world. Learn to push yourself when no one is looking. Because I believe inner peace is easy to find if you're willing to go to war with yourself. Learn to be alone and learn to enjoy the company for the most important person ever, yourself. And then here's the quote I actually heard him say yesterday. If you feel lonely, actually, let me change it up. He changed it. He goes, if you feel lonely when you're alone, it's probably because you're in bad company. I used to, when I taught health and wellness, I used to suggest students to drive with the radio off as a challenge. Just think about it for yourself. Do you get into your vehicle and automatically turn the radio on, or is it already on to begin with? Anytime I drive in the truck, I make a conscious decision. Do I feel like listening to music or not to? And I actually got 6 stations are programmed in. There are only 2 stations, every alternate one. If I don't like the song on one or I don't feel like it, I just turn it off. But majority of the time, I don't listen to anything. I want to think. I want to be alone with my thoughts. And I remember one time when I was in high school, my truck, the radio had to be replaced, had to be taken out. So we jury-rigged something, so I was in it because I was going crazy with it. I couldn't handle it. Looking back on it, because I couldn't handle the science. Wouldn't want to be alone with my thoughts. So that's why I presented it to the students as a challenge. So how is your company when you're alone? Like I said, you can drive with the radio off. And the personal spirituality, that is the connection to yourself, your values, your morals. What do you do is right? What do you consider wrong? What do you do when no one's looking? Those are important things to kind of go through. And you kind of go through, and whatever you dictates this, I think is going to end up dictating what about the rest of your life as well. So whatever values and morals you do is going to carry over to how you exercise or not, whether you eat right or not, you get your rest or not, what type of creativity you do, how you work on your analytical mind, and what you let into it with your subconscious mind. And also carries over to communal spirituality, which is your relationships, and environmental spirituality, which is your natural environment, as well as a higher power if you choose to believe in one. But yeah, the core foundation, I definitely believe, starts with your personal spirituality. So think about that. What is your company like when you're alone? Are you happy with it? If you're not. And the difference is not, and I don't mean to beat yourself up. If you're not happy with it, what can you do to improve it? Do you need to make some different decisions when it comes to work? Do you need to make some decisions when it comes to your nutrition, when it comes to your relationships? And the only way to really find these answers out, to really get in touch with the personal spirituality, is to go deep within. And that can be a very scary place for a lot of people. I know for myself, when I first started down this path, I was warned that a lot of people don't go down it. And short term, I learned why. It's because you do have to go deep within it. You do have to confront a lot of things about yourself, the things that you like, that you don't like, and some of the stuff you didn't even know was there. Yet, you don't have to do this all at once. You can take a little bit at a time. Is it worth it? Absolutely. It's not necessarily easy. So what are some things that you can do to start with this? Start doing some questioning. Get a journal. Write some things out in a journal. If you spend some time alone, what are the thoughts that come to your head? And a tip for the journal, you've heard me talk about this before, is to write from the third person. Because that way there, it kind of disconnects you from it and makes you the observer. Makes it a little easier to kind of figure out what's going on a bit. But yeah, just sit there quiet. Try driving with the radio off. And if you have to feel like you got to get on, what's the reason for it? Is it because you don't like your thoughts? And if you don't like your thoughts, what's the reason for that? Kind of backtrack a little bit. Yeah, and you can go through, take a journal, write things down, take little notes on your phone. If you start spending quiet time, find out how much quiet time you can spend during a day and or a week. Can you be in your home without the television? Or because I know some people have to have something on the background. Well, there's a reason why that shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to have something on the background all the time. What's the reason why you feel like you need that? So go through and kind of contemplate, how is your company when you're alone? And what's the reason you're either, sometimes with the noise in the background, whether it's television, music, or whatever, it's because you're deferring that. You're using that as a blocker so you don't have to be alone with your thoughts. So just some variety of points for you to ponder on that. And so let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know the thoughts in the comment. I apologize for this. Yeah. In one aspect, I'm feeling better than I have in the past 2 days. In another aspect, not as much. So, yeah. So in the comments, let me know your thoughts on that. How do you feel when you're alone? Pros, cons, and what have you learned even from your past? All right. So that's what I got for you. A little more deeper one on this video. But we'll catch you tomorrow. So take care and balancing to you. Bye-bye.